quarantine day. I come online live at 7:30 p.m. India Standard Time and initiate or give out a story of initiation into one way each day to transform our life together. Of course, the idea is that if you inculcate the teaching or the learning of it in your life, slowly and steadily by the end of these 21 days, you will be able to set a pace for transforming your life. Why 21 days, you wonder? Well, 21 days is actually how much it takes for a human brain to create a habit or to create a neuro pathway which creates a habit inside us. So even this quarantine period has been well thought of, that it is 21 days which will take for each one of us to sanitize, or if there is something which is infected, to sanitize and settle, such that we create those new, healthier neurobrain paths which will serve us in future. Now, the story which I'm going to cover today is something that almost all of us have heard, irrespective of which culture you belong to. This is the story of the meeting of Shiv and Parvati. Now, a long time back, there was a time, and also let me reiterate that I might be breaking down this story into various parts such that we can pick up the learning from it and the ways from it one at a time. So, a long time back, there was a time when Shiv actually was absolutely lamenting over the recent death of his wife, whom he really loved, called Sati. In fact, he knew that where she was going or where Sati was going is not going to be a good thing in the long run. But him being a Vairagi, he didn't stop her. So there was a sense of could I have stopped it also in him. All in all, he had isolated himself and he was absolutely in a don't touch me kind of a zone, don't talk to me kind of a zone. In fact, he went into a very deep meditation. He just did not want to stay connected with the world. He was absolutely mourning the death of his beloved wife, Sati. Which got me thinking that through this story, the author is really trying to tell us that there are times in our own life when such situations happen with us, and we tend to cut ourselves from the world because of what we are going through, because it has deeply hurt us, because someone has deeply hurt us. In fact, being a transformation coach, I absolutely understand when people write to me saying that whatever is happening, and it could be unique to them, very different from person to person, that this is terrible. I absolutely understand that can be, that feeling of loss can be very, very terrible. And at that time, all we feel like doing is cutting outside or cutting ourselves from the outside world. But the learning from the story up till now is that yes, it is okay to take your time to recuperate, to re-evaluate, and to retreat from the world. But how long is long enough? Let's go to the next stage of the story. Now, Shiv has been in this meditation for a really long time. Cut to Brahma. Brahma is looking around at the universe that he had created, and he started to notice that the universe had started to lose its luster. In fact, there were a few places where things were off balance. So he took a notary of it, that why were things off balance? Why had things lost its luster? And he realized that the god of destruction and dissolution was in deep meditation. So there was nothing new which was getting created because there was no destruction or dissolution happening. There was no capacity of creating something which is new because the old continued and it would not go, because this God who has to take care of it is in deep meditation. Things were rotting, but yet not dying. In fact, the universe was suffering. So this got me thinking, this in fact is the importance of what seems like destruction as well. Till the old is not destroyed, the new does not set in. And it is important for the new to set in such that life can move ahead, such that creativity can take place. Till the time you don't have a blank canvas, you cannot write anything new in it. And that was the problem which Brahma was facing. Now see, he is a creator. His responsibility is only to create. He cannot destroy. That is the responsibility of Shiv. But Shiv is into deep meditation because he wants to be disconnected with the world, because as far as he is concerned, he is blaming the world for the death of Sati, his beloved. How many times do we do that in our life? Let's move ahead. Now Brahma approaches Shakti. Shakti tells Brahma that fine, I will take care of this situation. However, it might need some time. Shakti then incarnates herself as Parvati as Parvati, which means the daughter of Parvat. So what she is also doing is, in fact, since the day she has been born, since she has got her consciousness, the only thing she can think about, the only person she can think about is Shiv. And how to get the attention of Shiv. Because she is interested in getting married to Shiv. In fact, the bigger picture is that they have to get married so that the universe can move ahead once again. She tries everything possible. She tries to flutter her eyes. She tries to wear excellent clothes. She's a great dancer. So she goes to Kailash Parvat and dances for him. She makes very nice smelling food for him. I mean, in fact, she tries everything that you can possibly think of as a woman she could be doing. But to no avail. Shiv was just not coming out of his meditation. So she thought she will take hold, or she will get help from her friend Kama. Now Kama is the lord of desire. And there is nobody up till now at whom Kamadev has shot his arrow, and that person hasn't felt the desire. So that's the reason Parvati approaches Kamadev, and requests him to shoot an arrow at Shivji, which he does. Shivji suddenly opens his eyes, the third eye, and burns Kamadev. What is that teaching us? Think about it. Oftentimes what happens is that when we are into that deep troubled mode, where we feel that the entire world is against us, that how could this beloved of mine not be with me or love me, or whatever it is that you're going through, whatever it is that you had deeply desired at one point in time, and it does not happens to be yours because of certain scheme of things, you lash out on those people who you can lash out on, your friends, your family, those people who truly care about you. This is exactly what Shiv did. He burnt down desire. For him, there was no forward momentum, and that is what we often do with ourselves also. We feel that the world has come to an end. We cannot, should not, do not deserve to move ahead. We are basically living in the sorrows of the past, and they seem so deep and dark that anything which tries to hold our hand and get us out of it seems like an enemy. Doesn't it? Haven't we all faced it? It just becomes a little more appropriate for us to stay isolated because we fear, we don't want to stay vulnerable, we don't want to be vulnerable because we don't want to go through the same things again and again. However, do remember, as the story says, that is unnatural. As long as there is no destruction, there will be no creation. That's the reason in this story the universe was losing its luster, its creativity. Oftentimes this is also seen in such situations in our life when we tend to be rigid. This is the only way. This is the only path. Basically, what we are doing is we are cutting down and not giving us an opportunity of having choices. This is the only person. This is the only stream that I can take up. This is the only way I can speak. Basically, we are being rigid in ourselves and not trying to change, not trying to destroy the old. In fact, at times not accepting that what has happened has happened. We have to move ahead because that's the law of nature. Right? So in this situation now, further on, calm has been destroyed. Parvati, in fact, goes into a shock. What to do next? Think about it. For Parvati also, this could have been a dead end. This could have been an area where she would have thought, well, it's not working out. I'm not going to give it any other shot. I've tried everything that I have. But what is it that she did not fear? Parvati did not fear failure. She was okay being vulnerable and trying multiple ways of wooing what she knew she definitely wanted, or who she knew she definitely wanted, which was Lord Shiva. So she was okay failing multiple times. Now let me tell you and remind you, in fact, this was not her first attempt in wooing Shiva. She had already tried dancing, cooking, her beauty, God knows what not. And now Kamadev, the arrow of desire also. So she has already failed multiple times. Now let's look at our life. How many times have we failed and thought that we are not worth it? That how could we even take this up? We don't have it in us. I am not going to pick up this cause only because I know that somebody once told me that I'm going to fail in it. Now just imagine, if Parvati had stopped and feared further failure, the universe as we know wouldn't have existed, or it would have not been as lustrous as it later went on to become. Right? Moving ahead, as Parvati was really determined, she wants this guy and she just wants this guy. I mean, doesn't matter how many failures she's gone through, doesn't matter all that she has done and it hasn't worked out, but she wants this man. So what she does is, she also begins to meditate. And it is said, she too meditates for a really long time. Well, if you come to think about these stories, what has been written in all of these stories is that all these meditations, all these things, they're happening over multiple years, like millions of years and so. But the point being that she meditated for a really long time. What this meditation did was that it increased the fire within her. It increased her own jiva, the power of her own soul. And it became so strong, that fire inside her belly became so strong. Yes, that somebody said that she did tapasya on all 5 elements and beyond. 5 elements is something what it takes for here in the human world and beyond. So she did this tapasya for many, many years, and she increased her power, her tap. When you do tapasya, what increases is the tap, the fire energy. It was this fire energy, the heat of it, which was felt by Shiv. And finally, he opened his eyes, looked at Parvati, fell in love with Parvati, and they got married. What does this show? Now, Shiv did not fall for Parvati because of the way she looked, or how well she cooked, or how well she sang or danced, or because Kama came in between and there was a desire towards Parvati that arose in him. Shiv looked at Parvati when she was whole and complete and exuding that powerful fire energy in her. When she had worked on herself, when she had transformed, when she had become so powerful that Shiva couldn't help but notice her. Now this is another thing, another learning that we can take away from this entire story, that it is never about the other. It is also never about what the other sees in you. It is never about what you can offer to the other. It is always about coming back to you and seeing what is within you. How much more can you cultivate within you? What is your tejas? What is your branding? What do you stand for? What are those transformations which you need to bring in yourself so that you can attract just the best in your life? What is it that you can do or change or transform within your life such that all your dreams come true, as they did for Parvati? Parvati's dream was to marry Shiva. And so, nothing else, but it was her own tej, her own fire, her own power, which got that man to her. Right? So that is the day 7, way 7, my friends. Of course, there have been multiple things which we have discussed in this story. To summarize, I want to say that take your time to lament over a thing and to sit in isolation. Take your time in recovery. But there is also something known as too much time. Too much of thinking about the past. That is often called victimhood. And what it does is that it reduces the luster of the world around you. If you stay too much in the past, it will reduce the luster of the world around you. Going forward, the next thing is that there are people who might be coming to help and support you in this time. Take the help of those people. There are often times in our life when we are not able to go through things on our own. Even though mentally isolation seems better, but it is not. Take that help. Burning the desire. What does that mean? That even though there was a hope of moving ahead, but Shiv was not ready to take it. So don't let that desire die in you. Desire of what? Desire of life, desire of moving ahead, desire of creating something new, desire of, okay, fine, the plan A didn't work. What is the plan B? So even though you might take your time to go towards plan B, but when the plan B knocks at your door, look at it. And the final thing which we can take away from this story is that it is never about what the other person sees in you. It is about working on yourself to become whole, to become complete, such that you can attract in your life all that you have ever desired. So if I want to be a leader, I cannot behave like a victim but expect to be a leader. Now what could that be? I cannot include things in my life and excuses in my life and the words of those people in my life who are putting me down, or such other situations where I'm not taking care of my health, or I am still living in my past and being a victim and expect that somehow I should achieve everything in life. That's not how it happens. So, we have to increase our own tejas to attract towards us all that we want to or we have dreamt of in our life. Day 7, way 7, my friends, is actually a threefold way. 1, take your time, but make sure that that time is not a very long time, and know when it is going towards an extreme victimhood. 2, when opportunities knock at your door, please do take it. Do not let that desire die in you, because that will just kill the lackluster of your life. And 3, do know that it is about you and not about the other person. It's not about what the other person did or did not see in you. It is about how are you better than yourself. What are those actions that you are taking in your life to transform? So these are a few things which I want you to be mindful about as we take this journey of 21 day, 21 ways. Because it's very important to have the basics right. And that fire in us. That is the reason why I keep asking again and again, are you committed to yourself? Because it's easy these days. There are so many courses, there are so many free things which are being available, but none of them will work. Everything will be shot down as karma was shot down by Shiva till the time you, my friends, are ready. You are taking an action. Right? So consider this, take an action. In fact, let the day 7 be to take an action. Come out of that self-imposed mode and take an action. In fact, one more thing which I would like to suggest to you all is that when it comes, the only way of being is also not meditation. Meditation is just one of the tools for transforming your life. It has never been advised in any of our scriptures, or in fact as a transformation coach, all those courses that I have taken and practiced with people, it has never been advised to be in a forever meditation mode. There has to be a balance between meditating and taking action. In fact, while you practice this over a period of time, you would see or notice that even while you are taking an action, you are meditating. So, this is the way that I wanted to speak to you all about today. And as I mentioned, I have been mentioning, I am offering 35% discount now on all of my services, tarot, numerology and DNA astrology. So you can avail that. Where they were 2,700 rupees or $50. Now they are just at $1,755 or $32. And if you want to book a personal 21-day transformation coaching session with me, you can message me and ask for those details as well. All of the past few days are available on my YouTube channel by the name Nehaa Goyal Stream Reading, NEHAAGOYAL Stream Reading. Please catch me there, subscribe and hit the bell icon. And if you're watching me on YouTube, all the links are there in the description below. I will see you all tomorrow, 7:30 India Standard Time with day 8, way 8. Day 8, way 8. Yeah. Okay. Namaskar. Radhe Radhe.